Hey everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. Got another interview for you today. I got to sit down with actress, writer, creator Erica Deutschman to talk about her new web series, Crossroads. Crossroads follows a type of person in Hollywood who thinks they're way more famous and talented than they actually are, and her rich parents hire a camera crew to follow her around, and you just kind of see how ridiculous she is. And Erica plays the lead character, Erica, even though it's not a reflection of her talking to her for a while. You know it's not the same person. It's a very funny web series. Again, it's called Crossroads. It's available now. Enjoy the interview. Hey everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I'm sitting down with Erica to talk about her new series, Crossroads, on Popternative TV. How you doing, Erica?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I like to keep these more as a conversation than an interview because I feel like you've probably been grilled with the same 12 questions 100 times now.
Oh, yeah. Third degree, always.
Right. But the one boilerplate thing I do have is I like to ask creative people to go back to the beginning of their creative journey. So when did you know you wanted to get into entertainment?
In utero. No,
Oh, great.
I came out a star. No, I would say when I was like, it's probably elementary school, like school plays. My grandma was an actress, so we would play around a lot, like with her wigs and costumes and stuff. And and yeah, when I really got into movies, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I have to do. So that's kind of how it all started. And then I got into writing more recently, but I find that that's been a really wonderful creative outlet as well. And it's nice to have some creative control over what you're actually saying. So here we are.
Excellent. Okay. Well, that was a very truncated version.
Yeah.
Where, this is going to seem like a weird question, but it does make sense. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I moved to Toronto when I was 20, maybe 19, because, that's kind of where like the Canadian acting scene is other than Vancouver, but it was close to home. So yeah,
Right.
Montreal,
I'm always
Toronto.
curious when people say they got into it really young, is like, what kind of atmosphere was there?
Oh, well, professionally, I only started when I was about 18, but I always had an interest and I was always doing classes, but then I really like professionally started doing it as an adult because my parents both worked, so they couldn't take me to auditions when I was a kid. So yeah, that's when I really started to work when I was 18.
All right.
Yeah.
So having an actress grandmother, when you told your parents this is what I want to do, they probably weren't like, that's not a job. You can't just make pretend for a living.
Well, she didn't really do it. She did a lot of like local theater. Like she wasn't, she didn't do it super on a global scale, but no, she was a good inspiration, and I knew she had a lot of fun doing it. But no, also my dad's a creative type as well, so you can do whatever you want.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Yeah.
And Montreal actually has a pretty decent film and TV scene, but it seems very insular.
Yeah, I would say so. When I first started, there were a few shows in Montreal. There was Blue Mountain State and Being Human. And then once I did those, it was like, oh, okay, well, hopefully there'll be a few movies that come along and whatnot. But Toronto always had like a lot more going on at the same time. So that's kind of what prompted the move.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it was good to start like in a small pond, so to speak, because you get to know people better that way.
Yeah. Was French required for those?
No, those were like American productions that shot in Montreal, so that was good because I don't really sound like a French person when I speak French. So yeah.
I just know Montreal really likes their French. They don't want to give it up.
They really, really do. There are a lot of places
Sorry, what was that?
There are laws in place to protect the language.
Yes.
Literally.
That's fun. I didn't know it was a literal law.
Oh no, yeah, it really is. I don't remember the number now, but you have to say bonjour before you say hi. So you get in big trouble.
All right. I'll remember that next time I'm up there.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you moved to Toronto. Did you do any kind of performance arts school or anything related to that, or just dove head first?
I was always in classes, but no, I never really did. I have my degrees in communication, so that was really a cool way to like get both sides of the entertainment industry, so to speak. Like you like behind the scenes, writing, shooting, and then like whenever I could be in my own stuff, I would. Um, but no, I never trained professionally, so to speak. So no,
No.
yeah.
Did you find maybe because it doesn't seem like something you would necessarily have to be trained professionally, though it never would seem like a detriment.
No, of course not. And that was one thing that my parents were kind of adamant about was they were like, maybe get a degree in something that's not acting and see how that feels. And I was like, this is terrible. So I really solidified what I wanted to do by doing things I didn't want to do.
Well, I guess it had an effect, maybe just the opposite one they were hoping for.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They're like, oh, okay, so I guess you're really going to do this, huh?
So was Toronto a lot of just getting as many auditions as you could and hitting the bricks, that kind of traditional thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it is. And it's always nice to work on your own stuff because, again, it's nice to have a little bit of control. So that's how Crossroads came about. But yeah, it was definitely a lot busier than Montreal for sure.
Okay, well, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
So you were saying Crossroads came about because you wanted more freedom to kind of take control of everything you were doing because you wrote it,
yeah.
produced it, acted it, everything.
All those things. Well, yeah, and also it's nice to like sometimes you do take part in projects that you're like, oh, maybe I would change this or maybe I would do that. And then you get to choose everyone you work with and you get to choose everyone you collaborate with. And so it really makes for a pleasant experience. I would highly recommend it.
You got to pick who you worked with and pick every aspect of it.
Yeah.
And on other projects, there was might be stuff you would want to change here or there, but you couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to have control's always nice. It's a good
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
Was this the first bigger project that you've written, or were you kind of writing for a while?
Actually, writing's more of a recent endeavor, but I've been working on a lot as of this past year. I have a few things in development right now, which is really exciting. So stay tuned for that. Well, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it, but but
Okay.
it's coming. Question.
When you first wrote Crossroads, was it originally intended to be a series, and did you plan on wearing all the hats?
Yeah, well, it was me and my writing partner Jesse Camacho. Sort of, I don't remember exactly how the concept came about, but we definitely wanted to make it a series because there's so much like material that we could create with this character, and y- when it's just you and your buddy, it's kind of like you have to wear all the hats, even if you don't want to. You have no other choice. So yeah, we kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into once we started writing and actually making it. We were like, okay, we just got to do it all.
Was there any part of doing it all that you hadn't done before that you were really looking forward to, or conversely, really dreading?
Yes, the dread part is definitely the like bureaucracy and all of the paperwork that you have to deal with
That makes a lot of
when
sense.
getting stuff made. Honestly, I like I'm amazed by people who have the wherewithal to do that every day. I don't think we give them enough credit, so good for them. Because yeah, it's tough, like with getting union clearance and like filling out all the proper forms. It's very boring, and it takes a lot of patience. But other than that, it's nice how I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed the rest of it. It's writing can sometimes be challenging and really tricky, but you really learn to love the process if you're into that kind of stuff. And when you're on set and you're acting and you're doing something you've written, it's a rewarding experience. So other than the paperwork, I highly recommend it.
Maybe hire a lawyer for that part.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah. Well, I guess at this point, would you want to give the elevator pitch for Crossroads?
Yeah, so it's a mockumentary style show about a delusional actress named Erica Rhodes, played by me, and she kind of just offers all of her very few fans an inside look into her life. Her dad hired her a camera crew, and so now she's just kind of like living her life and making a fool of herself for everyone to see.
That's a fantastic premise.
Thank you, thank you.
You do a lot of like kind of digs at the whole social media thing and all
Uh,
those.
yeah, it's kind of an observation on all of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty it's you don't watch it and go, "What? Where did they get all of this? Where did they get this idea from?" Yeah, that's that kind of business.
Was this a lot of stuff taken from maybe things you bumped into along the way as an actual actress?
Yeah, I think that if you asked most actresses, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I think I know that girl." But it's good to talk a big game sometimes because sometimes people actually believe you. But there's a time and a place, and maybe on your own reality show, it's not the best. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's definitely draws on some real people, and I won't say who, but for sure, yeah, real life inspiration is always the best.
So maybe I shouldn't ask for specific inspirations because I might
No,
get into naming names.
I would not. Bad idea.
Was this your first time directing something as well?
Actually, our friend Holly DeVoe directed it,
Oh,
so
okay.
I actually wasn't the director. But it would have been if I never directed something. No, no, it was good to have an inside or an outside set of eyes because sometimes things just don't read, and that's okay. It's just that it's nice to have people tell you when that's the case to deliver the
Yeah,
best product.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
something a little more objective, kind of one step removed.
Exactly. Exactly. Because she wasn't involved in the writing process either. So it was just, purely a directorial standpoint. And so I think that was really helpful just to guide the trajectory and make it the best it could be.
How was the writing process doing it along with somebody? Was it kind of like you take these scenes, I'll take these, or was it more of a back and
No,
forth
it's more of
collaboration?
a big collaboration. Like we work together. We don't really do anything. So I mean, Jesse takes the reins on some of the stuff, but I'm much more of a codependent than he is. So, like I need the constant reassurance that something's funny or like that that I'm going in the right direction, and it's just as much his project as it is mine. So it is nice to play off of each other and make sure everybody's on the same page, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely very collaborative.
Did you find having that second voice helped nail down the comedy? Because writing by yourself, I imagine it's hard to do
100%.
comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard. And Jesse's hilarious, so that really helps too. And I don't know. I think that two heads are better than one most of the time, and it always leads to a more fun process because you're working with your buddy, and you come up with really good stuff by playing off of each other. So I highly recommend that too.
I guess similar to the wearing all the hats question is, was there anything that you thought was gonna kill, and then when you were there on set working, everyone else was kind of just like, what? Or was there anything that you just kind of threw in there to fill up space, and then it became amazing?
That's a good question. I mean, with the improv, like it's very hit or miss. So sometimes something will read it and sometimes it won't, which is fine. I'm not afraid to just throw it out there. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so so that's fine. It's a safe space. Um, but no, I we also stick to the script, and at that point we have a lot of people read it and kind of make sure that it tracks. But yeah, sometimes those little bits of genius happen when you're just like on the fly and you don't really know what you're doing and something happens and it just works. So it's a bit of both. It's
Yeah.
yeah, and also like when you're cutting it all together and when you're editing, um something reads better afterwards than it did when you were actually doing it, or vice versa.
Yeah, that's true. The editing phase, you get kind of another draft at your whole thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Were you heavily involved in the editing?
Very much so. Our friend Dan Lamont, who is a wonderful cinematographer, director, editor, kind of did all of the brunt work for us. But we were there along the way, like the whole time, just kind of okaying everything. And I love the editing process. I think it's so much fun, and it's like kind of like where the whole story gets put together, and it's basically like the control of how you tell the story. So yeah, we were heavily involved in that, and that was also a very enjoyable process.
Had to be a pretty surreal feeling going from writing something, you and a friend, and then you have a whole bunch of people working on it, and then to have a final product that you could sit down and watch end to end.
Yeah, it is. It is really crazy because it was a long time coming, and even till now, like actually getting it on Popternative TV, having somewhere to put it, it's very it's rewarding. You started right from the beginning, and now look at now it's done, and we hopefully get to keep making more because we had so much fun doing it.
And Popternative is a really big get.
Yeah, and so like the TV aspect of it was, Peter, who's Popternative TV. He came to us and he was like, "Do you guys have any like good scripted content to like launch the TV angle of his channel?" And we were like, "Yeah, we have this concept." So it kind of just all took off from there. And yeah, we're really grateful that we have someone like Peter to push our push our ridiculous show to everyone.
Yeah, that's huge that someone
Yeah.
actually came to you because that's so rare that someone's like, "Hey, I'm
Mhm.
looking for something."
Yeah, I
You just
know.
happen to have what I need.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was thinking you made it kind of on your own and then either shopped it around or did the festival thing and then Pop Turnip was like, "Hey, we like this," but
Yeah, we kind of did, but yeah, it was I don't think we went full force, and I Jesse and I, Jesse and I we're good at writing and working together, but sometimes the follow through isn't 100% there. So it was really nice that this was something that came to us because you know who knows what would have happened otherwise.
yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And it's a big platform that a lot of people have access to, so you
yeah,
get a lot of eyes on your
exactly,
show.
exactly. It's great. I'm really it couldn't have worked out better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the show has been out for about a month now, half a month now.
Hmm.
Do you get any idea of reception?
Honestly, I feel like Peter is the right one to ask for that because I'm kind of, I'm a little bit, I'm more on the creative side than on the numbers side.
Mhm.
So I'll probably have to follow up with him just to know how we're doing. So no, the answer to your question is no.
You kind of keep the blinders on with social media and all that.
Yeah, I first of all, I'm terrible at social media, and second of all, I think that as much as it's nice to have people say nice things about you, it's kind of we're doing it for ourselves at the end of the day. So
Yeah,
um, so as long as we get to make something that we're proud of, then who cares what anyone thinks?
I think you're doing it the right way.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, social media can be toxic for no reason, so
Exactly. So,
make your
yeah,
show and have fun.
yeah. On that note, you can follow me on Instagram. No.
That's true. I shouldn't trash it too hard.
Yeah, we need it, but we hate it.
The episodes, do they come week to week or is it all at once?
It's very no, it's not all at once and it's not week to week. It's kind of a little bit longer than that. We have our second episode ready to go, but I think it'll be more like a monthly thing.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. We haven't really nailed down our timeline, which is probably not the best idea, but we're kind of rolling with the punches and seeing how it goes.
I'm sorry. I said there's more coming for people who have watched.
Exactly. Exactly. Stay tuned.
How many episodes do you have planned or written or filmed?
We have a whole like we have 3 seasons worth of stuff. Every
Oh,
season 6 episodes, but we do have like a trajectory that we want to go in. We've also, we've had to readjust a lot because of COVID, and we were like
of
shooting
course.
episode 2 in the thick of things, and it was, again with the paperwork and the rules and the things that we had to compromise because of the circumstances. Kind of made us shift a bit, but I don't mind that. Like sometimes amazing things come from desperate situations. so,
Just gotta roll with it.
yeah, exactly. And like, I think that's kind of that's been what we've been doing from the get go. And, it works out. So, we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Canada was kind of staying locked down a little longer than a lot of places. Are you still kind of stuck? Or are you able to get back to work?
It's happening now. Like, everything's sort of like getting better, and there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. Definitely behind the States by a few weeks because the vaccines came out a lot later for us, but it's getting there. There's hope.
Right. Yeah. Light at the end of the tunnel, finally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
which will make it a lot easier to shoot, which is great.
are you able to shoot now, but just under crazy guidelines?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, going back to Toronto shortly to get production going again, and kind of, we have all of our scripts. It's just a matter of, what are we allowed to do, and like what do we have to change if there are
Mhm.
still restrictions. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of the elephant in the room for all of these people like you trying to create something where you need
hmm
multiple people.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, well, the world won't allow it. So what can we do next?
Right.
Yeah.
Did they to look for a silver lining, did it give you a lot more time to write, perfect things? And
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think that all you could do for a time was just work on what you were working on, alone. Yeah, it did give us a lot of time to sort of consider. And when Peter came to us with the Popternative thing, like, it was like, I think it was January or February. So that gave us a lot of prep time because we weren't, yeah, we were in lockdown.
yeah, so you weren't under the gun to get it all done and up
Exactly.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It
Okay,
was a
so there
nice
is a
reason to
silver lining.
slow down. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, having 3 seasons planned and a whole trajectory, that's huge. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, we just kind of ran with it. We had this character, and we just know where we want to take her, and we might deviate a bit because we keep coming up with other ideas, and if we want to keep it going, then we keep it going. So we're very flexible, which keeps us on our toes, and it's really fun.
Well, you have more episodes coming, so that's a good
Yes,
thing. You have
yes,
three
yes.
seasons, three
Stay
seasons planned. I think
tuned.
that's where
Keep
we're at.
watching
Yes.
Popternative TV. We promise we'll make more. And yeah, yeah. That's the plan so far.
Good, good. And
Yeah.
I know we kind of crapped on it a little bit, but do you want to promote any socials, your socials, the shows,
Yeah.
maybe?
You can follow me at Erica_Deutschman. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's just Erica Deutschman, at Erica Deutschman on Instagram. My Crossroads account is Erica_Rhodes_Crossroads. So those are the two accounts. Jeez, I should really learn my own handle.
Okay, very
Yeah,
cool.
all on Instagram.
Does this show have a website or just the Instagram?
As of yet, we just have the Instagram, but yeah, the website is coming soon.
Very cool. Just want to make
Yeah,
sure you get everything out there that you can.
exactly.
Well, Erica, thank you for taking the time to come on.
Thank you so
Sorry
much for
about the
having me.
connection
Oh
issues.
no, keeps life interesting.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. I'd like to thank Erica one more time for coming on the show to talk to me about Crossroads. Apologies to her and to you for the technical issues. I don't know, StreamYard was not having a good day that day. Dropped out a couple times. We did the best we could, and we did talk about reconvening and doing it again when our next episode is out so we can really get into things, and hopefully the internet will cooperate so we can have more of a steady conversation and really get into the flow of things. But Erica, thank you. Best of luck with Crossroads. Everyone, check out Crossroads. It's available now. We have a lot more interviews, a lot more new movie coverage, talking to comic creators. I still have an unboxing pending. I just try to get these interviews with people out because they're giving me their time, so I'd like to get their projects in front of you as quickly as I can. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. You're not going to want to miss out on future videos. Also, make sure you listen to So Wizard Podcast every single week wherever you get your podcasts. So Wizard Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get multiple monthly bonus shows. SoWizardPodcast.com is your resource for reviews, recommendations, merchandise, videos, and more. We love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments, leave us something on social media. All the accounts can be found after the show and in the show notes. And on a more personal note, a really good friend and I have an ongoing comic series out. It's called Social Studies. It's a slice-of-life comedy comic, kind of looks at the high school experience, all the ridiculousness that goes around with it. We write it like a sitcom, try to mix things up a little bit, and then jam it all through the prism of the 90s cartoons that we grew up on. You can check that at socialstudiescomic.com. Thanks.